Good afternoon and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. My name's Simon and I do a daily Bitcoin price action analysis. Happy Wednesday to you, halfway through the week, and that weekly candle just keeps on getting better. Now, before we get straight into it, just want to remind you I'm not a financial advisor, so this isn't financial advice. It's hopefully insightful and maybe a little bit entertaining. All right, so as you can see here, we've got the weekly time frame, and at the moment, halfway through the week, this current weekly candle is looking very green. Let's hope it stays that way. With regards to momentum, I talked a little bit about what would happen potentially if on the next move up, because it was looking good for a move up, the RSI or momentum indicator of your choice starts to print some bearish divergence, because that on a weekly can be pretty powerful for decent pullbacks. And so right now, there's clearly another weekly move occurring. The RSI is back above the moving average. The previous high came in around about 83. And so it'd be interesting to see where the RSI peaks out on this move up, and will it be below that area? Because if it is, that'll be regular bearish divergence on the weekly, and that would look good for a pullback of significance rather than a crappy little wick down. But the converse is obviously if the RSI gets above this last weekly high RSI at the peak of this next move, then that would look good for continuation. You'd still expect a pullback, obviously, but maybe a shallower one as opposed to a deeper one if you end up getting some regular bearish divergence on the weekly. I hope that was clear, and now we'll jump down into the lower time frames. The bottom blue line of randomness is obviously the weekly support. So really, price action above 44,000. That's the line in the sand. That's the line in the sand for the weekly at the moment. The daily is the same place that I've had it for the last few days, and it's coming. Well, I might have raised it up just a little bit to reflect this sort of midpoint here, but it's around about 47,500. Call it. That's the daily support. The 4-hourly support I've put up here at basically 50,000. They're not absolute areas, but that's where I've got it on. It's roughly around there. And then I was very rude and I ignored the hourly and I switched straight down to the 15-minute for this next support line, which, as you can see, is coming in around 51,200. But that wick there takes you back down to 51,000. So any price action on the lower time frames is fair game, but closures below 51, that would look good for maybe a retest back down to anywhere from 50,500 to 50,000, really. And who knows, maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe Bitcoin will just march on up. Nobody knows, because that's in the future, and the future is yet to have occurred. My top line of randomness, this is a weekly based on the weekly, and that's coming in at around 52,750. You will have noticed if you've been watching the last few videos that has changed a little bit, and that's because it's not an absolute value, and it's probably anywhere from 52 to about 54. There's a big band there of potential top outs. And I say top out, I mean higher time frame targets with potential significant pullbacks. Excuse me, I'm a bit hoarse today. And so, yeah, lower time frames, still printing higher lows and higher highs since here. I hope you managed to catch a bit of this upside. I have. And I'm still long at the moment following this nice move up. I've already taken some profit around about this area, and I'll stick with this long for as long as I can until I get a reversal signal, and a reversal on the lower time frames for me to take a short. This is not financial advice, but for me to take a short on the lower time frames would really need probably at least an hourly closure back below 49.5 there or thereabouts. You could take a short, whatever that is, with say 15-minute hourly closures below 51,000. But you got to be careful with those, because it would likely be a not very deep, a shallow pullback on the lower time frames to maybe 50,500. So your risk to reward there is I'd say skewed to more risk rather than reward. Remember, these are just logical areas. They're not. Bitcoin doesn't care about them. In fact, probably nobody else cares about them. I care about them because I put them on in the places that I feel are logical for, and that's just based on where the price action has gravitated to historically. So that's why I've got them in there, and they help me make trades. But it's taken me a long time to be able to, firstly, get my mind in the right place to make this work, and secondly, grow confidence to realize that if you have a logical approach, and you've either practiced it or back tested it even better, then it's likely to give you rewards in the future. But that takes a long time. That's not something you can learn overnight. With regards to the lower time frame momentum indicators, sideways on the 15-minute would good. On the 15-minute would be good, because that would give the RSI time to cool off a little bit and maybe get back down lower, followed by a nice push up, maybe as far as this blue line of randomness. The 4-hour, as you can see here, the 4-hour is still printing divergences. I think that's the correct plural of divergence. All of these are lower highs. All of these are higher highs. So you need a swift up move on momentum on the 4-hour to keep this kind of pressure going. But yeah, we did have, or Bitcoin did have that little pullback yesterday. I think that was probably born out of this reducing momentum, but then it's gone, no thank you, I'm going back up again. However, the momentum behind that move is still less than the momentum behind these other moves up. So it's still divergent on the 4-hour. The daily's still on the same move effectively, as is the weekly. So nothing to say about those so far. All right, so that's 9 minutes. That's coming up to the end of my time with you today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please don't forget to at least like and maybe subscribe. And we'll do it all again tomorrow. So you take care. Enjoy your Tuesday, and I'll see Tuesday. That was yesterday. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday's price action. Bye-bye.